Someone tweeted at me a while back and said they hate that I use ska music in my intros.
Today, we are going to talk about why video games suck now.
I mean, I wouldn't really agree. I think most people wouldn't agree that just blanket statement video games suck now. I think we've had a ton of really great games in the last generation. You got DMC5, you got RE7, you got the RE2 remake, you got Breath of the Wild, you got the games that I didn't really care for but other people care for, like PUBG and Red Dead 2. I don't like Red Dead 2. Animal Crossing. You got Warzone, you got Rocket League, you got Dota 2, you got Smash Ultimate, you got Mario Odyssey. I mean, there have been plenty of great games this generation. I don't really understand where people get off saying that this generation was bad or that video games in general are bad now. I mean, the industry is bigger than it's ever been. Clearly, it's doing something right.
Now, of course, there is plenty of good video games out.
There are plenty of good video games out.
You know, a lot of them stuck around, like Halo, Tekken. There's some good ones.
Halo and Tekken are not super relevant choices to throw. Okay.
The newer ones like Fortnite, Apex, those are pretty cool. Like I like Fortnite a lot. You know. I know everybody hates on it, but
I wonder why people do that.
It's a really good game, and you got to thank the fact that games are free now because of Fortnite.
No. God, so many people seem to think free games were like invented by Fortnite. It's like League of Legends doesn't exist. It's like Dota 2 doesn't exist. It's like TF2 doesn't exist. It's like CSGO doesn't exist. Did CSGO go free before Fortnite? Hang on, I need to make sure I'm right about this. I have fact-checked myself. CSGO went free to play in December of 2018, which was like the exact same time as Fortnite. Let's just go with I'm right.
Games are free because of Fortnite.
No, games are free because free-to-play models have been around for a decade now. When did League of Legends come out? I think I want to say League of Legends was the first like big free-to-play game that made people start actually paying attention to that kind of model. And I guess the rise of mobile games too. No, games are not free because of Fortnite.
Fortnite set that standard. They were like, you know what? I want to make a game, and they're like, fuck having them pay for it. Let's just put it out for free.
Do you have a hickey right there? I mean, like, I'm not judging you. It's just an odd place for a hickey.
And then people can buy stuff in the game if they want to, and it will not change the quality of your gameplay.
So, cosmetic DLC. Fortnite didn't invent that.
It's not going to make you... It's a purely aesthetic. Like, it's your look. It's customization.
Thank you, Epic, for inventing customizable characters.
And that's smart because it's like, if I got a game for free, right? I have no problem spending money in the game, especially if it's free.
I'm the same way. If a game is free to play, I usually am a lot less hesitant to throw money at it. I've spent probably like $50 in Apex, probably like 20 in Warzone. And back when I actually actively used to play Fortnite, I know it's, fucking sinner over here. I used to play Fortnite. I don't know, I spent like $25-30 in Fortnite. Yeah, if a game's free to play, I'm more likely to throw money at it because it was free. That's how League of Legends makes so much money. That's how Counter-Strike made so much money. I mean, Counter-Strike made money before that. Again, let's just go with I'm right.
If it's free in my head and I love it and there's something cool in the game to buy, what I do is I'm like, okay, I'll at least spend $60 because it's like that game is worth $60.
Hang on, my Fitbit just yelled at me. I need to take 200 steps. Be right back. Okay, let's proceed.
So I have no problem spending up to $60. I don't try to specifically spend $60, but I will up to it at least, and sometimes past it if the game's that good and you care that much about your aesthetic.
See, this is why I do commentaries instead of face cams, and this is why I cut stuff out of what I say. I know my videos are really long, but imagine how much longer they'd be if I did everything in one take.
Anyways, went on a little ramble there. That's an awesome game, obviously. It's a huge influence on games. Now, again, that was one of the good games. Again, Apex Legends, all the new Battle Royale. It's really cool, and it's really cool that it's free. So thanks, Fortnite, for that. You know, you can hate on all you want, but you didn't pay for all those games you've been playing because it's free because of Fortnite.
See, I was going to do a little skit here where I sat in the same camera angle as you and did the point at the camera thing and told you that Fortnite didn't invent free-to-play, nor did it invent Battle Royale. But I couldn't get my camera angle right, and the lighting right now is really bad, so I look like Casper with a beard. So I cut that whole part out, and I hope you're happy.
Yeah, that's right. So, but yeah, the reason games suck now is because...
God, you and I look really similar. Two handsome-ass gym bros.
So what happened in the early days was everybody who made a video game wanted to make a video game, right? There was a bunch of game developers. They wanted to make it. They'd go to publishers, you know, they'd work out deals.
Well, I mean, if you make video games now, you probably want to make video games too. You know, there's certain jobs where it's like, oh, I just need a job, I'll do this. I need some money, I'll do this job. I don't feel like game development falls in that category.
Now, because gaming is so huge, okay, so like this is gaming, right? In the 90s, not making nearly as much as today. And now there's the gaming industry is way up here, right?
It's almost like games are still good.
And they're making about the same as some huge companies, you know, huge like companies that are, you know, universally shopped at, like for families and whatnot.
I don't know what you mean.
And so the gaming industry breached that much profit, and now other companies were like...
And your left hand was 90s, and then you changed it to you made it a different, you assigned a different role to it. Sorry. Like, I've been in theater since I was a kid. One of the first things that you learn is if you're going to symbolize something with your hand, or if you're going to pantomime where something is, you have to stay consistent with that until it's very clear that it's changed. And sorry, moving on.
What's that? What's that over there? Gaming. I've never done gaming. I didn't know you could make billions in gaming. You know what, Chuck?
Let's make a video game, and then we'll have all the money in the world.
Okay, you're describing a really niche situation. Like, you're describing something that really doesn't happen anymore. This used to happen. Like, companies that aren't involved in video games, companies that don't give a shit about video games, come in and try to make a video game to capitalize off something. That's something that used to happen, but that doesn't really happen anymore. And when it does, those games kind of bomb. Like, I'm not saying this never happens, and I'm not defending it when it does happen, but if this is your justification for games overall sucking now, no.
Right there is why games suck, is because a bunch of companies that don't make video games come in, make video games to try and make money.
Can you give even one example of this happening recently? Because I can't think of any examples from the last 7 years of this happening.
They're not looking at it and like their art project. They're looking at it like, what can I get back from this? Okay, Call of Duty's popular, right? So let's make a game like Call of Duty.
What game are you talking about?
But the problem with that is it's gonna suck. Call of Duty, in my opinion, is a little overrated, but it's a popular one, so we'll use that example.
Well, yes, it's overrated, but it still makes money. So it still has an impact on where trends go. I'm still waiting on an example of what you're talking about.
If Call of Duty's Call of Duty, right? And you're trying to make a game that's like Call of Duty, it's not going to be as good.
That's actually not true. Iron Sight came out a while back, and I think that game is way better than anything Call of Duty's put out recently. And I mean, that's the same with other franchises too. I think Splitgate was far superior to modern Halo. And, both of these games didn't do super well because, they're indie projects. They didn't really have the publicity or the funding that could have pushed them to the mainstream. I'm still holding out hope that a publisher grabs onto one of these games and gives it the exposure it deserves. But no, a game trying to be like another game does not mean it's going to be worse than the game it's trying to be like. That's kind of how game development is. That's kind of how every art form is. You have your influences and you improve upon the aspects of the influences that you like.
So you're not going to hit those same numbers that Call of Duty would for sales.
Sales aren't everything. Also, holding a new game to the standards of Call of Duty sales is just not very smart. Call of Duty has ridiculous sales numbers every year. It blows my mind that they do it. And I don't know where all these people are that are buying Call of Duty every year. Same way I don't know where all these people are that buy FIFA and Madden every year. But to say a game is not successful because it doesn't hit Call of Duty's numbers, it's kind of an asinine goal to make.
And you should stop copying shit And you should only make video games if you fucking want to make video games.
I'm sorry, you should stop copying shit and then Call of Duty as your benchmark? Yeah, no, because Warzone is a completely unique concept. Yeah, no, because Modern Warfare's ground war is a completely unique concept. Yeah, no, because Modern Warfare's existence is a unique concept. I mean, come on.
Don't just come in our zone and try and take money and then give us poo-poo instead.
You still haven't given any examples of games or companies doing this, and the only positive examples you've given so far are Fortnite and Call of Duty, two games that are notorious for just following trends.
I don't like it. True game developers should be in it. Anyone who's in it just for the money, like anything else, get out of here.
Call of Duty. Fortnite.
You're not the hardcore, you're not the passionate. You're here to make a buck, which is cool. Just, don't shell out bullshit. If you want to make money, make something good.
It's like you don't think something can be profitable and good at the same time unless it's completely 1000% unique, which just isn't true. Jedi Fallen Order just comes to mind immediately. That game is not unique in literally any way, but it's still a really good game and it did well. Because it was just Star Wars Dark Souls. Not everything has to be completely 1000% unique for it to be enjoyable or for it to be good. Every artist in every field will take influence from the artists and fields that inspired them.
Have you ever noticed the series that had a solid core, awesome first one did well, typically?
Wolfenstein would like to have a word with you.
And then, depending on the series, 2 can be awesome too, right? Like Halo. Halo went up to 3, Reach, 4, 5. That's a good example of a series that really kept it going.
No, not at all. Halo nosedived after Bungie left. Honestly, it's kind of hard to think of a series that held on for more than 3 entries at a time. Really more than 2 entries in a lot of cases. I'm trying to think of a single... I'm legitimately trying to think of franchises that, objectively held their quality for more than 3 entries.
And then you got other series that 2 was not as good.
Wolfenstein.
But 3 and 4 were way worse.
Wolfenstein.
And then you're like, why are you even making video games still? And it goes all back to what I just said, which is they're just trying to make money. Again, nothing wrong with making money. It's just I get a little mad when you try to make money in something I love so much, the gaming industry. And you care about it so much that you shell out fucking garbage to the fans.
I mean, there's incredible irony here with this all being said from a dude who said Halo kept their momentum. I mean, the only reason Halo is even still relevant is because the old games were re-released.
I don't like it. That's generally why gaming suck now, is because there's a lot of companies getting into gaming and they're like, oh, let's, it's a business to them.
Well, yes, gaming is a business. Gaming's always been a business. And business is not inherently bad. Movies are a business. Music is a business. That doesn't mean everything that comes out of it is bad, or that doesn't mean if you're trying to make money off of it, it's unartistic. I think there is a line. I agree with you. There is a line where artistry stops and it becomes about the money. But even then, just because something's not artistic doesn't mean it can't be a good product that you enjoy and that you would spend money on.
It's not like the old days where you got a couple kids in a garage with a couple computers grinding out some amazing game, some epic, iconic video game. It's not like that.
Well, yeah, the times have changed. And also, are you saying indie development isn't really a thing anymore? Allow me to introduce you to this tiny little friend I have called Among Us.
Now it's a company that was doing something else.
Allow me to introduce you to this tiny little company I found called PUBG.
Being like, let's do that instead. Do you have an experience? No? Why would I need experience?
Allow me to introduce you to this tiny little company I found called Minecraft.
It's money. We'll just make it to sell money. What makes money? Call of Duty, right? Or make it like Call of Duty.
You keep referring to Call of Duty ripoffs and you haven't given a single example. And again, the irony of Call of Duty not being original anymore is just flying over your head.
And the vicious circle continues. Luckily, I think, bringing back to Fortnite, I think Call of Duty was heavily influential. Obviously, there's a ton of games that copied it.
Yeah, and now Call of Duty just banks off nostalgia for the old games. You see how that comes full circle?
And Fortnite is, I think, just such a better game. And I know the younger crowd will probably love and agree with that, and the older crowd will be like, I don't think so.
I mean, you can't really. I'm not even going to agree or disagree. I'm just going to say it's a dumb comparison. Call of Duty versus Fortnite. Like, what? That's such a weird comparison. It's like Blink-182 versus Behemoth. Who's the better ska band?
But I've played a good amount of both, and I tell you, Fortnite is truly innovative.
I don't think you know what that word means.
They stepped it up. There's constantly changing and creating, changing the map, adding vehicles.
That's not innovation. That's just updates. And a lot of the times that's just updates for update's sake. In fact, the constant changes are what pushed a lot of people away from the game. Heyo, my name is Joe from Seattle. That's what pushed me away from the game.
There were these little like balls and chains you could swing around as vehicles. They brought the planes, different customization. Like,
you just mentioned two things that happened in the game over a year ago. You said the balls and chains, which I'm assuming were these, and then the planes, which were a long time ago. You see the issue here? You're talking about Fortnite's innovation, and then you mentioned things that are not relevant anymore. Is my coffee cup leaking? What the fuck? I just put my... That's a problem.
The whole building thing, people are like, oh, I played it and it's like I couldn't get the hang of the building. It's like, yeah, that's like the game, bro.
Yeah, I agree that is a dumb criticism, but it's also not. It's also completely fair for somebody to not like the game because they don't like the mechanics. No game mechanic is for everybody. I mean, I've said it before. I don't like PUBG, but I respect PUBG. I don't like the mechanics. I don't like the inventory system. I don't like the game pace of PUBG, but I have tremendous respect for the game. I respect it more than I enjoy it. I mean, Counter-Strike is another one. I don't really enjoy playing Counter-Strike. I don't really enjoy playing League of Legends, but these are two games that I have tremendous respect for.
Why don't you get the hang of it, try and get decent at it, and then judge?
You're falling into a criticism that I am very on the fence about. The whole, if you're not good at the game, you can't criticize the game thing. I feel you starting to lean into that criticism pool, and I'm debating whether or not I should catch you with a net made of bees.
Don't play for 20 minutes. Be like, it sucks. You know?
You know. Haha. Oh, hi, Mark.
You're not going to get anything done that way. But, yeah, that's basically why gaming sucks now.
Yeah, gaming sucks because people aren't good at Fortnite.
Overall, and again... not all gaming sucks. There's still plenty of good series out there.
Well, the two games you've actually said good things about so far are Call of Duty and Fortnite, and you briefly mentioned Apex. And you've also been talking about Halo. I mean, you're gonna have to do a little better if you want people to see this point.
I just think comparing the two, if you were to grab a random game off the shelf in a video game store, play it, the chance it will suck, I think, is pretty high.
That is a very cynical outlook on things. I used to literally do that too. Back when I was in like 8th, 9th grade, what I would do every few weeks, I would ride my bike. I would ride my bike down to GameStop. There was a GameStop like 4-ish miles from my house, 3-4 miles from my house. So I would ride my bike down to GameStop. I had like $15. I would go to the big bin of pre-owned 360 games, and I would just pick a game that looked cool. And I found a lot of really cool games that way. That's how I found Lost Planet. Honestly, I think the first Lost Planet is pretty underrated. But I found Lost Planet that way. I found Naruto, which one is it? The Broken Bond? Terminator Salvation. I played through that whole game with my friend on split screen. It's fucking terrible, but that's why it's fun. I mean, I got through all the Lego games that way. Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. That game is horrendous, but you know, it's still entertaining. And then eventually that's also how I found COD 3 and COD 4, and that's what got me into multiplayer video games. I mean, you can't be so cynical about these things. If you go into a game store and pick a game off the shelf, there's not a good chance it's going to suck. I mean, there's a perfectly average chance you won't enjoy it. There's a perfectly average chance it's going to be shit. Perfectly average chance it's going to be good. Everybody has different tastes. Everybody has different standards. But it's such a cynical attitude. All these games. And also, again, just the irony factor of, there's such a good chance that all these games suck, but not Halo 4 and 5 and Fortnite. Those are great. Fantastic. Maybe you're just looking for a specific type of game, and that specific type of game isn't in a lot of places right now. Or maybe you're not looking in the right places for it.
Like, suck as in, like, it's not awesome. Right? It sucks. Let's just say sucks. But
why are you saying sucks? Why that word specifically?
If you were to do that in, like, say, maybe The year 2000, I think, is a really good year because all the, pre-owned games were solid up until then, and it was still innovating, right?
I mean, games are innovating now. You're just not looking for it.
Big time creativity, graphics, and story, and being unique.
I'm sorry, graphics and story? You don't think games now have good graphics or story, or are unique? I would agree with you. The games aren't as unique now, but that doesn't mean none of them are unique. It's just now when a game is unique, it's not going to stay unique. That's why so many games now are battle royales or Dark Souls clones or open world sandboxes. But I mean, even then, even in the 2000s, how many 3D platformers were there? And then going into the 2000s, how many third-person cover shooters were there? How many third-person action games were there? What you're describing as bad is just industry trends. That's something that's always been here. You may not like the trends now, and I would agree with you. I'm not a huge fan of the trends now, but they're not going to last.
For once, the year 2000, if you pick up a random game off the shelf, I'm willing to bet it's at least 50% better than it would be today.
That's still such a cynical way to look at things. 50% better than an F is a C.
Any random game, you pick a random game, alphabetical order. I think if you were to do that in the year 2000, you would have much more success at finding a game that's fun to play and that's somewhat more original.
You haven't really given reasons why games aren't original now. Like, you haven't given a reason why games are substantially less original now than they used to be.
Everything influences everything, but when you can give me a truly unique game, like, for example, Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, Mirror's Edge is a really unique game that also came out way later than the year 2000.
That is a huge one. Most people I know, maybe everyone I know who's played it through, loves the game.
Yeah, Mirror's Edge is fantastic. And then they ruined it.
And some people were like, "Oh, I couldn't get into it. It didn't look fun or whatever." And it's not something you can understand until you play that game. Mirror's Edge.
God, you are so inconsistent with your arguments. Earlier in the video, you gave people shit for not being able to get into Fortnite. But now when someone isn't into Mirror's Edge, you're like, it's okay. You just gotta try it a little more.
I went to GameStop and I was looking to get Mirror's Edge, and this fucking nerd behind the counter.
Wait, start. Why was that so funny?
This fucking nerd behind the counter was like, "No, dude, you got to get Left 4 Dead. Mirror's Edge sucks." And I was like, "Dude, I played Left 4 Dead. It's cool, but it's like, I was done."
I'm still laughing at the fucking nerd. Also, not to be that guy, but I kind of doubt a GameStop employee told you the game you were about to buy sucks. Like, I don't think a GameStop employee would do that, but I could be wrong.
After like a week, it was all right. He's like, "Oh no, it's the best game in a while." He's like, "You really shouldn't get Mirror's Edge." I'm like, "Dude, shut the fuck up and ring me up, dude. I'm not asking you. Let me buy the game I came in for."
Yeah, no, that guy was a dick. It's a memorable. It's a good story. I'm still snickering about the fucking nerd. I don't know why that was so funny.
He's like, "Okay, yeah, whatever, man." I was like, "Dude, chill out, okay?" And I was just like, it threw me off. I was like, "What the fuck? What's wrong with this guy?" He's like, "Got something against Mirror's Edge."
And then that was the catalyst event for the future of gaming, and we lost all innovation. And then 10 years later, Fortnite invented free to play.
He's a fucking boob. That's why. But I grabbed Mirror's Edge. This was at the Natick Mall. The GameStop in the Natick Mall, I remember.
Oh, yeah, the Natick Mall.
There's like 2 or 3 in there, but it was the bottom one near the food court. And
visualization. It's good storytelling.
Yeah, I took Mirror's Edge home, and it was amazing, guys. I'm telling you, that game, it's got its own feel. The story is unique. The graphics are unique. Everything about it has its own identity, and that's what I love.
And I agree with all of this. It's just, I'm not that I haven't enjoyed the journey that we've been on together the last few minutes. I cut a lot of it. I cut a lot of it out. Full disclosure. But as much as I appreciate the journey we've been on, why?
And that's why it's hard to find games like that nowadays. Is because it's a big business now. So in their mind, it's profits first. That's what companies do. They focus on profits, right?
Yeah, no, companies focus on profits because if they don't, they're not a company anymore. they go bankrupt. If you want uniqueness, if you want individuality in gaming, then go to indie gaming, go to smaller studios, go to AA studios. Mirror's Edge, I mean, the art style just made me think of Super Hot. That's a pretty unique game. And I played a lot of Strafe recently. I would call that a AA game. Then there's really successful AA games that were super unique, like Hotline Miami. I mean, I can just name games off the top of my head that were unique.
Some focus on the quality as much as the profits, like Valve. You know, Valve is awesome.
Weren't you just talking shit about Left 4 Dead?
But, you know, they should really get on Half-Life 3, but we'll talk about that in a different video.
I don't really want Half-Life 3. I feel like a lot of people don't want Half-Life 3 because nothing they can do will live up to expectations.
But yeah, some people keep the quality, some people don't. But the newer companies and like where they've been going, again, I like the Battle Royale. I think it's a lot better than that sort of Call of Duty run and gun. I think it's cool they added another factor, like aspect to it, you know?
I understand this is like a rant. You're bouncing from idea to idea. I get that. But, you know, like a single example of what you think is like a bad rip-off game that we need to avoid. Like a single example would be wonderful.
And yeah, again, this is just my whole overgeneralization of why I think games suck now, like on average.
You overgeneralizing? What?
There's still a ton of good ones. Still plenty of series lingering around that are awesome. But I just wanted to talk about it because it really bugs me. You know, they're in our space, guys. Like, they're trying to make money here, and that's cool, again, but you gotta have quality content or get the fuck out!
There's a Halo 5 poster behind you. And above that is a Halo 4 poster. This is difficult for me.
Okay? It's just that simple. If you're gonna make games, make them good, and don't fuck around.
The tattoo on your left shoulder, that's fucking sick. Sorry.
Because you're going to piss me off. But thanks again for watching, guys.
Okay, so let's just closing thoughts here. Closing thoughts. I know we bounced around a lot of topics in this video. Let's just go in order here. Fortnite did not invent free-to-play, nor do I think Fortnite even popularized free-to-play. Free-to-play was already an upward trend at the time Fortnite came out. Fortnite did not invent Battle Royale. Battle Royale was already on the upward trend when Fortnite came out. It was number 2. But most importantly, gaming just doesn't suck now. If you don't like industry trends, the mainstream industry trends, which is something that has always been here. Mainstream industry trends have always been a thing in gaming. They will always be a thing in gaming. Every few years, a new kind of game is the in thing. Right now, it's Dark Souls clones and open world RPGs / loot-based action games. Before that, it was third-person cinematic action games. Before that, it was Modern Warfare clones. Before that, it was third-person action games, like third-person like action beat-em-up games. Before that, it was third-person platformers. You see where I'm going with this? There's always going to be industry trends, and if you don't like the trends right now, just wait a few years. Sorry. I talk with my hands a lot, and sometimes I forget I'm not... Whoops. Sometimes I forget I'm not on camera. Oh, boy. I don't know how long this video is, but I've been recording for 48 minutes now because I kept like walking away and doing stuff and forgetting to stop the record button, and then there were a couple things I was going to do and then I decided not to do. This video is gonna suck editing, is what I'm saying. But you don't have to worry about that because you didn't do it. You didn't edit this video. Shut up. No, you didn't. And now I'm just like stopping the recording because when I stop the recording, I'm gonna have to go edit this piece of shit. That's gonna take forever. It's gonna be a nightmare because I'm stupid. I'm stupid, and I don't turn the recording off when I stop recording or like when I walk away to go pee or go fill my water bottle up. Okay. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go edit this. Bye.